Tiffany Gaines, host of the Seekers podcast. Before I get into my chit chat, go ahead, do me a favor, click the subscribe button so you'll be notified of any new videos I upload to the YouTube channel. At the end of the video, I sure would appreciate a confirmation because we know you're going to like it. A confirmational like. Hit the like button at the end of the video. I always appreciate comments, commentary. You crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, all of that good stuff. All of that good stuff sharpens me, and motivates me, inspires me. So I appreciate your efforts and support and communicating on the channel. Now, let me talk about what I want to talk about. The NFL season is gone by. I'm sad. It creates a huge gap in my entertainment life. I am a huge sports fan, but my second favorite sport is the NBA. I'm tired of y'all talking about the NBA is trash, right? Now, did my NBA brothering help me out with the NBA All-Star game? No. I think the score was 783 to 697, or something like that. I think the East won the shootout contest. It was not a game, not a game, not a game. The slam dunk contest, I said early on, I said, I think the slam dunk contest is on its way out. I watched it, of course, because I just wanted to see. I think it's fascinating to see the level of creativity these guys go through. And the G Leaguer won it for the second year in a row. NBA players, if you want to lose to a G Leaguer, if you let the G League guy star on your stage, that says to me it's not important enough. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the young man who won the dunk contest. Kudos to him for showing up the stars that the platform is supposed to be for. But y'all, seriously, if you don't want to compete, cool. But if you don't want to compete, okay. I kind of get it. And I think it's okay to say that things evolve. The NFL got rid of the Pro Bowl game because it was an unwatchable event. It got to the point where it was no longer competitive, or it didn't really bring out the best idea of all-star competition. And all-star competition, the competition is still a part of the all-star game or the Pro Bowl game. And so the NFL eliminated the game. I think it's about time. Adam Silver considered the same for the NBA. I think it's okay to just give guys time off. I don't know why we have to still be um why there has to be an additional level of entertainment for fans. I think it's okay to give fans a special event to come watch players participate in, but I think it's okay to get rid of the All-Star game, and I think it's okay to get rid of the slam dunk contest. I think it's okay to to reinvent the wheel when it comes to any All-Star sport or whatever it is. If the home run derby gets to be a dud, I think it's okay to reinvent the wheel. But I think the slam dunk contest has been such a staple for the NBA since the Dominique days, since the Michael Jordan days. But I think the evolution of the slam dunk contest has been coming to an end for a while. And I've heard people talk about my guy, LeBron James, being the reason and the cause of the demise of the slam dunk contest. I don't buy that. I don't believe that. Now, all of the Jordan lovers and the people who pile on LeBron because he is the only person who is considered a running candidate for GOAT. They pile on LeBron for any and every reason. And I think it clouds vision, it clouds judgment. Anything that LeBron attaches himself to, or anything that people can use LeBron as the face of the league to kind of set blame at his feet. I think it's an opportunity for people to do that. I think vision is skewed when it comes to LeBron. I think You decide the narrative based on LeBron. You decide the narrative of LeBron James, and I think you kind of do like Skip Bayless. It's not difficult to be a Skip Bayless when it comes to LeBron James. It's just the way Skip does it is so obnoxious. I don't disagree with a lot of the arguments about LeBron James when they make sense. But I think blaming LeBron James for the demise of the All Star weekend slam dunk contest just because he never participated is ridiculous. Because I think Jordan won twice, but how many times did Jordan participate? Right? Did he participate twice? Did he participate more than that? Beyond Jordan, Kobe Bryant, I think, participated one time. Vince Carter, I think, participated once, maybe twice. But there's not a plethora of superstars signing up for the dunk contest each and every year. Um, I think we've had great slam dunk contests since LeBron's been in the league. The Dwight Howard Superman Cape slam dunk contest was awesome. The Adam Levine, Aaron Gordon uh, dunk contest was awesome. I think the slam dunk contest has been decent. Just in recent years, it's just kind of gotten to kind of shoulder shrugging. And is that really because guys who, guys who now don't necessarily revere LeBron James so much so that they want to go play with him, but they're going to look at LeBron James and let him decide if they should participate in a dunk contest. None of the young guys these days for the last 5 6 years have been dying to go team up with LeBron James, but I mean, they've established the fact that they want to be LeBron or they want to beat LeBron, but he is their idol so much so that he influences their choice to participate in the dunk contest. I don't think it has anything to do with LeBron James. I think it's an evolution of the NBA. I think it's an evolution of life. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and I really wanna. I like um, this gentleman, and I really want to Man Down Sports. I was listening to Man Down Sports this morning, and a gentleman called in to his show. I thought it was a good show about the NBA All Star game. And a gentleman said, the evolution of NBA players, and I'm paraphrasing, the evolution of the NBA players is much like the evolution of life, society. The way that kids, the entitlement surrounding kids or people who are of a younger generation, the entitlement, the not having to work hard, the not having to do nothing, the access to so much. It's an evolving thing, right? This has not been something that just kind of dropped. The the mentality of work hard, the mindset of earning, the mindset of blue collar athletes really earning their money. That's been a mindset that's been gone long ago. The introduction of guaranteed contracts, the balloon payment, and I've got no problem with NBA money. I've got no problem with any athlete earning their market value. I want to be clear about that. Any athlete earning market value, I ain't got a problem with it. But it's just the mindset that comes with the market value. It's the mindset and the entitlement that comes with market value. That's the issue. It's not, don't pay these guys millions of dollars. Why not? If that's the market value for that skill set, then you pay the market value for that skill set. If that sport draws enough of an entertainment package for people to want to come, watch, buy concession, buy jerseys, buy tickets, why do the owners have to be the only recipients of that? Maybe some of these owners, right? Maybe some of the owners could do a better job of maybe selecting talent or, getting guys who really are more blue collar, with their approach and with their mindset that comes with the money. But a lot of that you can't even blame on ownership. It really is the gentleman that called into Man Down Sports, social media, the mindset, the polluting mindset that kind of comes with young people growing up in an age where fame is instant. Success is instant. Popularity is instant. Our phones, technology is instant. Everything is instant. You don't have to work for, you don't have to leave your house. Grocery deliveries, everything is instant. Everything's at a fingertip. We don't really have the mindset, the wiring, and the discipline to really reach for and earn. We have everything. So everything nowadays is just kind of a shoulder shrug. Our access to things and our appreciation of the things that we have access to is so much this kind of a shoulder shrug. And so you have sort of guys who've grown up in an era of entitlement, and you're asking them to earn something. They earn their way to the league, and that's accomplishment enough. It's an accomplishment that only 1% of athletes that make it to that platform, make it to the NBA, or make it to the professional level of any sport. I think blaming LeBron James for the demise of the slam dunk contest is cheap. I love me some LeBron James, but I think that is only because he sits in the GOAT contest. He sits in the shadows of Michael Jordan. And I think people just kind of resent LeBron's demeanor and his approach to basketball. He does kind of have a wine glass approach, which is one of the things that the older LeBron has gotten, it is one of my critiques and criticisms of him. He doesn't realize what's changing around him and that he does probably need to. If he wants to win anymore, he probably has, and this is not even realistic for him to change at this stage and age of his career. He would have to be a little bit more sharp in his tongue, in his approach with his teammates. But that's not likely to happen because that's not who he's been, and he's not likely going to morph into that person at this phase of his career. But I do think that blaming LeBron James for the demise of the All-Star game and the contest, I just think it's cheap, and it is just something else that we can kind of pile on the back of LeBron, on his broad shoulders. Another thing that we can just kind of put on his shoulders, on his cross to bear. I think you have to look at the mindset and the entitlement of the generation of NBA players that we have today. There is no hard blue collar work ethic in the NBA anymore. The other thing that they talked about on Man Down Sports, I don't want to seem like I'm forgetting Man Down Sports. I thought he had an excellent. I've not heard anybody else, and I've not listened to a lot of commentary since the All Star game, but I thought Man Down Sports had an excellent thought on how to shift the NBA. Let's bring back defense. The NBA is an entertainment league. It is a league where people get up close, and I've talked about this before, up close contact experience. You're right on the court. You have access to stars. Guys are high-fiving fans. It's an entertainment experience. And a lot of people who go to NBA games, who sit courtside, or who, it's an entertainment experience, especially depending on the venue or the city that you're in. You don't know who you're going to see. New York, any of the LA teams, Philadelphia, Miami, Lord, um, Golden State, right? Even hell, Dallas and Houston. There's stars everywhere outside of the stars on the basketball court. You don't know who you're going to interact with at an NBA game. And so the NBA experience it's just different. And so those fans who want to see an entertainment product love offense. And this is what they talked about on Man Down Sports. He talked about bringing defense. The fact that Adam Silver has crippled the NBA by pulling away the defense, right? It's a guard driven league now. The top draft picks in the NBA are guards. Steph Curry. Now, if we want to talk about somebody that's ruined the NBA, it is the mindset that everybody can shoot a three-pointer like Steph Curry. And I really don't even blame Steph Curry for that. The three-point shot, teams started adopting more of the three-point shot. The more Mike D'Antoni kept getting to the playoffs, that Steve Nash Phoenix team, Mike D'Antoni, each and every year, more teams started shooting three-pointers. That was a Mike D'Antoni influence. And over the years, and then Mike D'Antoni with the Rockets, the tenure that Mike D'Antoni had with James Harden, then we come along with Steph Curry. If my In my opinion, the three-point shot is what's ruined the NBA because there's so many guys taking it who are not shooters, and coaches are now asking guys, if you're open, you better take that shot. I understand the analytics with it. That was a Mike D'Antoni thing, but people putting that at the feet of LeBron James, I don't like that. I think the NBA players, I think Man Down Sports had an excellent point. The offensive preference, the preference of offense in the NBA is the problem. Guys who are scorers can score more. A guy who's a shooter is going to be deadly, right? And so, what do we expect if a guy doesn't have to work hard to get his shot off? If he's got, the preference of a ref's whistle for offense, flopping is at an all-time high. It's a it's a slow erosion of a bunch of things that have kind of ruined All-Star weekend. A slow erosion. It's not just one thing. It's not just LeBron James choosing not to dunk. Shannon Sharp said something the other day that I thought was kind of insightful. He said LeBron's an in-game power dunker. He's not a creative dunker. And I mean, I never thought about that, but I thought that was a great point too. Maybe LeBron just doesn't have a creative repertoire of dunks. I don't know. He's probably a little bit more self-absorbed than I would ever what I than I would have ever thought or would like to admit because I am such a big LeBron James fan. But maybe LeBron James just isn't comfortable displaying his lack of creativity as an NBA dunker. He does these pre-game dunks, but there's nothing creative about LeBron's pre-game dunks. I mean, I'm not saying that he couldn't try, but maybe it's not his thing. And beyond that, how many of the superstars participate in the dunk contest each and every year? Once they've competed a couple times, they move on. I just don't think it's fair to just kind of lay that at LeBron's feet. We want to put everything that's wrong with the NBA on the person who's in the GOAT debate. If LeBron was not in the GOAT debate, nobody would be trying to lay this at his feet. And maybe to whom much is given, much is required. And because he's in the GOAT debate, maybe it's his responsibility to carry the dunk contest too. I just don't think so. I think it's a slow erosion of mindset, discipline, and entitlement. Guys don't have to work hard. They do make a lot of money, but it's market value, and I think that's fair. But it's a slow erosion of a lot of things that have really kind of put the NBA All Star weekend. It kind of displayed all of its flaws. I think the 3-point contest is still something great to watch. I think that's a skill set that you have to really master. I think there are a lot of guys entering the 3-point contest just because they shoot a volume of 3-pointers in a game, and maybe they have a semi-healthy percentage, but they're not necessarily Steph Curry shooters. Shooting a bunch of 3-pointers didn't make you a shooter. But I think that is the evolution of the NBA. It's a 3-pointer league, and Mike D'Antoni and his Phoenix Suns offense and the James Harden years with Mike D'Antoni. That's why you see so many guys. Now, remember back in the day, the 3-point contest was a white guys, or just a few guys, specialty guys. That was their thing, specialty guys like Ray Allen's, Steve Nash's, John Stockton, those type of guys, specialty guys, point guards. It was a little man's event. Now you got Carl Anthony Towns in the 3-point contest. That doesn't even seem authentic. It just seems like it's rewriting history. I mean, it's evolved. Everybody thinks they can shoot the 3-pointer now just because everybody shoots the 3-pointer now. Donovan Mitchell in a 3-point contest, he should have been in a dunk contest. Jaylen Brown in a dunk contest, he shouldn't have been in anything. I mean, he was not impressive at all. A better in-game dunker, and I think Jaylen Brown is a great example of probably what LeBron James would be as a dunker, but just not very creative. I'm going to dunk over a little guy in a chair sitting down. Yeah, no. Um, But I think that the evolution of the All-Star weekend, everybody's talents kind of crossing over. Again, Carl Anthony Towns, Donovan Mitchell in the 3-point contest. Y'all are not shooters. You're scorers. So who are we gonna? I mean, but the 3-point contest is such a genuine event. I mean, the ball goes in or it doesn't. You don't have to have creativity with the 3-point contest. So I think that'll always be a pure attraction, and I think that'll always just kind of be great. But I don't like blaming LeBron James for the demise of All-Star weekend. That's a slow erosion of a bunch of things that's wrong with the NBA. And I think Man Down Sports, the host of that show, nailed it. Adam Silver, your feet. Dirt at your feet. Removing defense from the league. Let's get centers back. Shaq. Ball down low. Grind for points. But the NBA is a shooters league. It is a 3-point league. It is a guard league. And all of those guys, there are no shots earned in the NBA anymore unless you're just, I'm not saying that they're not, you know, down low, specialist still in the league, but it is largely a guard league, and it is the erosion of inside out. No more inside out. It is outside in now, unless you got Yoke on your team and you just kind of know better. But even Yoke, he don't play down low. Not all the time. No, 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 no. Guys play away from the basket. AD didn't want to get down low in the paint. Guys play away from the basket. So I don't like the blame the guy who's in the GOAT debate with Michael Jordan for everything that's wrong with the NBA. Now, if I had something to blame, LeBron, wine glass, just retire. I don't think you're going to win another championship. Guys coming along these days are not impressed. They're not enamored by playing with you. They're just not. Unless you get an older veteran who just, hey, I want to win too, kind of like a Dame Lillard type of situation, or a re-romance with Kyrie. I think the day and age of people wanting to play with LeBron James for him to move into another championship, I think that day is over with. And I do wish that LeBron would either find a different way to motivate your team, or LeBron just kind of accept it for what it is, or LeBron just retire. I really think that, because I do see the difference in leadership, the sort of difference in personality. It is impactful. I don't think guys fear playing with LeBron, not as a Paul Pierce would say, playing against LeBron. I don't think guys are intimidated. His teammates are not intimidated by playing with him. Guys were intimidated playing with Kobe. There was a level of expectation that you had to come with Kobe. Kobe was not shy about throwing a teammate under the bus, and God knows what he said to them in the locker room. I think that is one thing. If I could rewrite any part of history and change about LeBron James, it is his teeth to go at teammates. But I still love him and I still revere him, and I think he is, in my mind, the GOAT. But I have personal bias. I don't necessarily like who Jordan was as a teammate. And so that's why I say blaming something on LeBron is easy. It's easy if you don't necessarily just like all that he's about. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, please, Tiffany Gaines, host of the Secrets podcast, please hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified of any new videos that I upload to my YouTube channel. Adrian Peterson in some financial trouble, allegedly. We don't know. Nobody ever knows how much money is in a guy's pocket. Do we ever really know? All we have are news reports, updates, rumors, hot gossip. Ooh, supposedly there was a judgment of some $5 million plus issued against Adrian Peterson for a company, a group, or whatever, to recoup from a loan that they issued to Adrian Peterson some years ago. AP, running back for the Minnesota Vikings, I believe. AP may have ended his career somewhere else. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but was a superstar running back for the Minnesota Vikings, and supposedly made over $100 million in his career, and is in it seems like some financial trouble if people are trying to sell his memorabilia to recoup $5 million for a guy that made $100 million. That's a lot of money that's allegedly missing, because if you made over 100 million, you think you'd got $5 million to pay back. And I think this loan was done back in 2016 or something like that. So I mean, the handwriting on the wall says that Adrian Peterson might be in a little bit of financial trouble. I hope that is not the case. But what I wanted to say about that is, I think, and this is a challenge to myself too. All sense is not common sense, and we really have to get away from shaming people for not having the mindset, intellect, or the ability to understand things as we do. There are a lot of people who come into money who mismanage money. There are a lot of people who have regular jobs that are not great at savings. There are a lot of people, average everyday people, who don't have a healthy or what would be considered a responsible amount of money in their savings account. Just because a man or a woman is introduced to millions, they're not going to automatically morph into the most financially responsible person just because they have millions. And I would love it if we would stop shaming athletes for being poor money managers. We would all love the opportunity to mismanage $100 million, wouldn't we? We could all say what we would do differently, couldn't we? But it's all about mindset. It is about the mindset of the person, the individual that has that money. People say all the time, money doesn't change you. It makes you more of who you already were, right? So if Adrian Peterson made $50,000, then it seems like Adrian Peterson is the same, would be the same person that he obviously is with $100 million. We want maturity to come with fame, and it just doesn't. The John Morant gun situation. Maturity doesn't come with fame. Maturity doesn't come with financial success. It is all about the individual, the person, and the mindset. And we want to continue to shame people for making silly decisions, or what we call silly decisions, because it is something that we say we would not do. How many of us regular people have mismanaged a paycheck or two, right? I certainly have. I've not always been in the financial shape and condition, and I've not always had the best, you know, a credit score. I've gone through my financial woes. I mean, financial literacy isn't born to each and every one of us. It is really a demographic of us, black folks, that really and I'm not saying other cultures don't have their issues, but I know within the black community, financial literacy is something that we lack, and we're not always properly educated. Just because we come into millions, we're surrounded by a group of people our entire lives. All of a sudden, we get millions of dollars, and those people that we've surrounded ourselves with, and we become this individual, that we are. All of a sudden, they're shunned, they're pushed aside, right? Everybody doesn't move up intellectually. No, sometimes people surround themselves with the same people, the same mindset evolves, the same mindset continues to erode, the same mistakes are made. The change is up here. It is not just because we have this. And I just didn't like, I was watching Nightcap with Shannon and Ocho, and I just didn't like the heat that Unc was coming with about Adrian Peterson. I mean, I know at the end of the day, Shannon has a lot of common sense, and he's super smart and intelligent, and he's made some mistakes, right? He's made some mistakes that he can't go back to change, but he made pivots early enough to where the mistakes didn't cost him a bunch. But everybody isn't built that way. Everybody isn't built with discipline. Everybody isn't built with a group of people who surround them that only want their best. Everybody isn't around iron to sharpen themselves, right? And so it really is the education of the individual. It is the education. It is the education, and it is the maturity of the individual to whom much is given. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people, a lot of athletes who have an immense amount of talent, that are gifted, and they take their gifts and they excel, and they end up in the 1% of the population that gets to make millions of dollars. But nothing grows up here. How many people just kind of know people that you went to school with, and they're doing the same thing that they did in high school? Or how many people that you grew up with in your neighborhood, and they're still in that neighborhood? They've not grown, they've not evolved, they've not figured out that they need to do something in here to change, to grow and evolve. It's not always the money that changes. It's never the money. It is the intellect, it is the maturity, it is the environment that the person is around, right? Adrian Peterson is going through allegedly a difficult situation, but I don't like the harsh tone that comes with it. Don't you know? Or you should know. It's just like, okay, he made some mistakes, and I guarantee you, nobody feels that more than AP. Who's to say that he's even gotten the understanding today? I mean, if he doesn't have an understanding, and you have $100 million, and they were talking about Adrian Peterson spending all of this money on his 30th birthday, just God, if it's all true, I don't know. I mean, how do we really know unless you were there, unless you were the person financing it? But, flying 300 people first class, to a birthday party, camels, snake charmers, and all this stuff, right? That would seem to add up to a pretty hefty bill, a multi-million dollar bill for a 30th birthday. If that was that man's mindset and maturity, and if he was just spending and going through, it's just a little cheap to say that's just dumb. Or Shannon used the word embarrassing. I think that's where I didn't like. I don't think it's embarrassing, Shannon. I think it shows, it highlights the need for help within the Black community, within the community of athletes, to do more education, financial literacy, education. Clinton Portis was somebody else Shannon talked about. The number of guys who blow their money, it can't just be because they're dumb, just not mature, didn't have the right support system, made some mistakes, but it happens too often. It happens too often, and I think it has to just be a mindset. I mean, some of us grow up. And maybe Adrian Peterson just grew and he didn't grow up. And I feel bad that a guy had an opportunity to set generational change for himself and his family. And if he mismanaged that opportunity while playing professional football, I think that is a tragedy and not an embarrassment. I, I find that sad. I find that unfortunate. And I have to govern myself too, because I am one who can be hard on certain thinking as well, but I check myself all the time. Tiffany, that is not too common for everybody. Everybody didn't think that way. I check myself all the time, and I know that I'm impatient with some things, but I just think we need to live with a better lens and a better tongue for grace for others. And it is something that I do a self check on all the time, but especially with Black men. And I think maybe I'm just super sensitive about people coming or talking harshly about Black men, because I love my Black brothers. I love our Black kings. And I think as much as possible, we need to be more uplifting. And I would love it if other athletes would just choose a different way to kind of talk about those things that their other brothers that they're, are going through. I don't think that all of the decisions are wise. Some of them seem a bit, whoa, what were you thinking in that situation? But I definitely think when it comes to financial literacy, Black people as a whole, we're not starting at the best vantage point. It doesn't mean that we are not responsible for ourselves, our lives, and our choices. We absolutely are. But I think it is too easy and cheap to say that's embarrassment, that's dumb, as though each and every move that we've made in our lives would show that we are always on the right page. It does not. Regular people mismanage money too. They do. Adrian Peterson just had more of it to mismanage. But there are people who are living above their means everywhere, of all colors and cultures in this world. Right? Yeah, everywhere. It is a mindset thing, and it is not just have money, do better. Some people are just, they're mature. They have a vision, you know, they just grow up. They mature, and some people don't. So I hope that Adrian Peterson finds a way to get himself together. He's still a superstar, even away from football. And I know there's a platform, an opportunity that could or would benefit from him. And I know he could find a way to rewrite the script if he's in a particular situation. His name alone would allow him a multitude of opportunities to rewrite his script and rewrite and rebuild his fortune if it's in disarray. But that's kind of my take on those two things. The NBA All Star Weekend, Adam Silver, I'm putting that at your feet. Bring back defense, man down sports. I thought that was a great take. Uh yeah, you wanted an entertainment league, Adam Silver. Now you got it, and now you got a mess, right? And LeBron James saying that NBA games or 140 to 135. He didn't say those numbers, but NBA games are high scoring. So if a regular NBA game is high scoring, what the hell you think the All-Star game is going to be? NBA games are played with very little defense now. The All-Star game, of course, it's going to be exaggerated, right? Of course it is. Adam Silver, fix it. Shout out Man Down Sports. I thought that was great. And shout out to the caller that called in on Man Down Sports. It's an erosion of society. It's an erosion of youth, entitlement, and mindset. Please hit the like button. If you like the video, jump in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.